Hi, I'm Piero. I want to answer cousinomacul's trolley dilemma. So real quickly, the dilemma is there's a trolley coming along on a track on which a villain has tied 5 people. It's approaching a switch, and we are positioned by the switch. And the trolley can be switched onto another track where the villain has tied just one person. I have a couple things. First of all, I think by constructing an artificial problem where one person has to be killed, you create a situation where there is no satisfactory solution. You basically said, I have to kill somebody. So how can that be satisfactory? So that's also an artificial part of your premise, or the premise. Okay, I'll get back to that. Another thing is, I think actually in reality that who those people are would make a difference. If those were 5 children and I was tied on that track, there are many people that know me well enough to know that I'd be willing to sacrifice myself probably to save those kids. And if they were to make the decision to switch the track to take me instead of the 5 kids, that would be a specific ethical decision they made that it requires knowledge of who's on the tracks. Okay. So I think there's a weakness in the example there, is that a lot of the decisions would rightfully be made based on who is on the tracks and details of the situation that would have to be present but that we haven't been provided with. And in light of that, I do not think it's ethical to throw the switch, because I think the example, the version where you have to push a guy in front of the trolley to block it, it is not a situation where I'm wondering, what's the difference? Oh, it's so different. What is the difference? No, it shows there is no difference, that this is murder if you kill one person to save 5 other people. And you can't know that that was a good trade. Lives don't add up like that. I think the ethical thing is, this is a train station. I think that most ethical thing would be for me to call for somebody else to go switch the train and me to run and try to untie the one person, because it's easier to untie one person than it is to untie 5 people. So my answer basically is that I think you have to try to save all the people. It's quite likely that the way to do that is to go ahead and increase the danger for the one person, but go and try to save them. It might be that I would have to ask somebody else to try to save the one person and throw the switch myself. But to throw the switch without any attempt or idea of saving that person as well is wrong. Now, I do see risking their safety as not purely wrong, because it's like if a car is driving into a group of people, let's say the driver has steered a car into a group of people and then jumps in the back seat. I jump over into the driver's seat. What do? Do I just steer straight into the people? No, I try to avoid the crowd, but that means steering towards people on the edge of the crowd. And I think that example is okay, because you're trying to save the lives, ideally of everyone, but through a method that is does take, just uses the numbers and steers to a less dense part of the crowd, because you know that there's less people to hit out there. But you also know that less people hit means more of a chance of avoiding them altogether. So you could switch that trolley towards that one person if you were going to try to save that one person as well. Other than that, there is no ethical decision, and you've been put into an unfree situation by a villain. That decision and that the moral meaning of that decision still conveys back to the villain that has set it up so concretely.